Hello there, my name is Marcus and welcome to Tabletop Reviews, where today I'm having a look at Fair Enough, the official game of the Essen Spiel 25. It's by Friedeman Freeze, that's why it starts with an F. Anyways, let's look at the setup and the gameplay. Alright, let's get the game set up real quick. If it wants to open, I'll just put things in bags in here. So there's basically only two decks that we need to sort of worry about. The first deck is this one. It's called the Time deck, and it contains a bunch of cards with a bunch of numbers on it. Now the most important thing is to note the numbers down here. There's another number there, 4 and 5. These cards only used at specific player count, so these needs to be sorted out based on player count. I'm not going to do that right now, I'm just going to put them over here. And then you have this big pile of cards with a whole bunch of different things and sort on. This one is shuffled up, and then it's placed in the middle. 3 cards are given to each player. I'm just going to do one player real quick. And then 3 cards are flipped face up. And now you're ready to play the game. Now, on your turn, you can look at your cards, as you can see based on like the colors here. I definitely need to shuffle these better, but it's okay. You look at these cards here, and you decide, okay, I can. This is the first phase. I can take 0, 1, or 2 of the cards in here. Generally speaking, I want to have the higher numbers. So in this one, because they match colors, I would probably just take these 2 here. Then I would flip it over and pass it on to the next player. So it discontinues. It's supposed to be a bunch of different colors, but maybe he also takes the highest ones. So there's only these one left. Now some different colors come in. So I take this last one. And then my opponent takes in turns as well. Yada yada. Now this one here is ready. And now we take turns to either to play a card or withdraw from the round. So what I would do is I would probably take my highest card. Oh, actually, wait. This pile comes in. You flip over the top card. And this one is nice and high. It says 30. It's also not used in a 2 or 3 player game. And basically that's the amount of time you have to collect things. And each thing costs an amount of time to collect. So I would play this one down. And now I would say 26. Because 30 minus 4 is 26. My opponents would play some stuff down. And then maybe by the time I put this one down, I have to say 17. Because 10 has been drawn down. And this of course matches in color. Then at some point, maybe I would get to a point where it says 5 in here. And I mean, sure, I could play another one, minus 2, and then it would be at 3 left. But if I don't get to complete my collection, gather my collection, by the time the time runs out, I lose it. So I would probably, although there's 5 left, I would probably say, you know what, I'm good. I'm keeping these cards. So now I would be keeping these 2 for this round. Then it will again go around to every player. And once everybody has finished off, you then go back to this round. You keep whatever cards you have in hand, and you go back to this 0, 1, or 2, and go again, and you go that for 6 rounds of these cards, and each of them have, this one has 27, 24, 15, 9, and again, these cards are used differently. And then the way you score up is sort of how many you have, and the numbers is timed up or plussed up, or I'm not going to go into the scoring really. And then you have a few cards in here that has a bonus effect. There's 3, and they do something differently for this stuff. They can make sure you can take a card without it hurting the time, or maybe you double the amount of time it takes, things like that. That is both good and bad. But that's how we play the game. Most points wins. And there we go, that is the setup and gameplay quickly gone over. Basically, yeah. So let's talk about it. I mean, setup is nice and fast. It's just 2 piles of cards. You just need to quickly sort through those time cards. Does not take very long at all. So setup, nice and fast. So yeah. Then in the gameplay, the research phase, I think it works pretty well to create your hand of cards here. Where you can know it's the phase where you can take 0, 1, or 2 cards. That's called the research phase. And I think it works well to build a hand of cards. 2 rounds of that, and now you have a hand of cards built. I think it works really well. It could be interesting to see in a game that's better than this. because you have the collecting thing, which I mean, it works out. It's set collecting. You want the colors, but if you have a color in hand and it just, you know, it's a yellow and it just doesn't show up in the research phase, do you want to keep that yellow and hope for the best, or, you know, whatever? Then you have this entire thing with the time going down. Generally speaking, it's not going to go down fast, and you should be getting a few points there. But at higher player counts, I mean, you are only going to get 2 or 3 cards. And at the lower player counts, it's very easy to sort of try and predict and keep me on track on what cards your opponent take. Okay, now there's 6 hours left. If I do this 2, bringing it to 0, this 2, bringing it down to like 4, he shouldn't have a 4 left, so I'm good. I can still collect it, and it becomes a lot easier to predict. While like at the higher player counts, if there's 10 left, you would collect your cards absolutely, and you're not gonna get a lot of points. So at lower player counts, it is boring. At higher player counts, it's just impossible, and you feel so unsatisfied at the end. So I'm not a big fan of this. And then we have this theme of you are being at a fair, where you have to look out for these collectible things. It doesn't really work on this thing. I mean, yes, you have, you know, a limited amount of hours to get your stuff, but when that time runs out, it's not like the Spiel, the guys at the Essen Spiel come up to you and be like, hey, the time's out, put those board games down and fuck off. They let you walk out with the board games, and I mean, even it's probably open for half an hour extra for you to get out. So the theme of this thing of like, okay, I'm out of time, and now I lose everything that I've tried to collect. It doesn't work at all. And like, normally if you go out like a couple hours before the fair ends, you probably won't even get enough stuff, to be honest. I mean, for the days we were there, me and my wife, we were there all throughout it, and we didn't see everything. So I'm completely lost by the theme. The components, they're fine. I mean, the cards are fine. It's decent. I didn't think they were anything special, but they're not terrible either. They're fine. A very large box, I will say, for a card game, essentially, with 2 decks of cards, where one is not even a proper full-size deck. So, does it lie to you? The age, let's see, you get it. 2 to 5 players, 30 minutes to play, years 8 and up. And I think the age is pretty decent. I mean, there's some color coding, some color matching that you need to do throughout, and then you have a little bit of math to do, but it's not overly complex math, so I think it works well for a younger audience probably. And the time it takes to play, yeah, it's 56 rounds, and it will go towards the 30 minutes at a higher player count. Low player count, you can go through it a little bit quicker, but it's going to be about 30 minutes. That's a pretty decent one. So yeah, but I don't think it works at any player count, really. I mean, maybe 3. I mean, at 2 it was just boring back and forth, and okay, you had the higher numbers in the correct color, so you win, and that was my really lucky, but you know, whatever. At the higher player counts, 4 or 5, you just sit there and like, okay, there isn't enough time. I'm just going to take this one, and I scored 20 points in total. Not really, but sort of like that. At 3, maybe it would work at 3, where it's like, okay, I can't fully predict it, but it isn't completely chaotic either. So maybe 3, but I wouldn't play this game. I mean, yeah, the final score I'm going to give this game is going to be a 3 out of 10. Not very good. I mean, I'm fine with these matching color, these collection games. What's it called? Set collection. But it's just so boringly made in this one. So, am I keeping it? Probably not, no. So too bad that the biggest board game fair in the world gets this bad of a game for this year. I haven't tried any of the other official Essen Spiel games, but that would be interesting to maybe do it sometime. Yeah, but this one wasn't very good, and I will not be keeping it. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next one. Bye!